What's good, my fellow GeoGeeks and MetaMappers? Spatial Ninja here, bringing you This Week in MetaMapping. We've got a lot of great articles to cover this week. First, starting with a new update to ArcGIS Pro that offers a new 3D base map layer, as well as support for 3D tile layers. We've got an article from GeoWeek News on Google announcing more updates to their different mapping solutions. We've got an article around geospatial policy helping to speed up adoption in India. We've also got an article from Arc News around demystifying GeoAI, as well as an article from the ArcGIS blog about ArcGIS Collector on Windows platform, a deprecation notice. So if you are a user of Collector, make sure you stick around for that update. And then finally, we've got an article from ArcGIS blog on what is new in SiteScan. So some great content to cover this week. And as always, we will finish with our MappyMeme of the week. So with that, let's jump right in here. Please like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not. We've just hit 50 subscribers, so thank you all for subscribing to MetaMapping. And for hitting this 50 subscriber mark, we do want to provide a giveaway. So make sure you're following myself, Spatial Ninja, on Twitter, as well as MetaWorld Maps on Twitter for that giveaway details. But appreciate the 50 subscribers that we have, and let's keep building that number up. But on our MetaMapping channel, you can find all of our This Week in MetaMapping videos, as well as some videos on what's new in ArcGIS, as well as some tutorial videos, as well as all of our different shorts. Again, thank you all for subscribing. So let's jump into our first article here from GeoWeek News. Esri's ArcGIS Pro 3.2 now offers 3D base map and 3D tile layer support. So Esri has released a new version of its desktop GIS application, ArcGIS Pro. A lot of new capabilities in this update, but of particular interest is the availability of 3D base maps and 3D tile support. So 3D base maps. Until now, the base maps that ArcGIS offered were only available in 2D. Starting at ArcGIS Pro 3.2, this includes the first-time access to 3D base maps, which are designed for local and global scenes. So this 3D base map provides you access with labeling, 3D buildings, as well as tree data, which users can use in their reference data built directly into their base map. So cool 3D base map available. You could access this through ArcGIS Online and the web scene, but now you're able to access it directly in ArcGIS Pro as well. The next big update here in 3D is 3D tile support. So 3D tiles is an open standard for massive 3D geospatial data sets such as point clouds, buildings, photogrammetry, and vector data. 3D tiles is a streamable, optimized format designed to tap the potential of 3D geospatial data. This format was first introduced in 2015 by Cesium, an open platform for software applications, and then became an OGC community standard in 2019. Google now uses 3D tiles to render its 3D tiles through its Map API. A 3D tile GitHub repo can be found here. So you can go to that GitHub through this GeoWeek article. And so 3D tiles are similar to the I3S format. That is an extendable data format that can be used to represent 3D types of data. So Pro and ArcGIS has already supported this I3S scene layer format and now supports tile layers as well. So this article just shows me the advancements on the 3D side and more standards as it pertains to 3D data and more adoption of these standards from geospatial solutions like Esri and ArcGIS Pro. Next article here from GeoWeek News. Google announces more map updates that target different user groups. So in late October of this year, Google announced multiple new features that target different user groups. As Google Maps is used for different purposes by different user groups, Google tries to serve their different needs by adding new features or extending existing ones. Finally, Google's new features offer insights into how the company uses AI and AR technology to offer better experience in Google Maps for its users. So a variety of new updates here to the Google Maps platform geared towards either the consumer kind of personal use of Google Maps or businesses. So first off here, better road navigation, new location services inside of Google Maps helps drivers travel more safely and reliable and relieve their stress. For example, helping EV drivers find a charging station ahead of time that meets their needs. This is a new global feature available for EV drivers on Android and iOS that tells them if a charger is compatible with their vehicle, its recharging velocity, and when it was last used, as this service is dependent on data availability. So we've seen a similar type of capability with like gas stations and the availability of the price of gas at that particular station. So now more information being provided on EV charging stations. It says Google Maps navigation now includes more realistic buildings as well that help driver to orient themselves better, while improved lane details help them prepare lane changes before exiting a highway. So more data enhancements inside of Google Maps for drivers. Next update here, immersive 3D fly-throughs. Announced earlier this year, Immersive View for Routes is a Google Maps feature offering 3D fly-throughs of a predefined route, showing the user the entire route, including all turns, presented in a realistic 3D model created using AI to fuse Google Street View and aerial imagery. So if you've got a route and you want to be able to see what that route is going to look like, you have this 3D fly-through option before you actually follow that route. Next here is a categorized location-based searching. Google has also redesigned how to present Google Maps users with location information based on written location searches. A general location search such as things to do in Paris will now generate multiple categories of indexed search results instead of unfiltered, uncategorized results. So presenting information more clearly. This results in better user experience with fewer but better search results and a less cluttered map. Google Maps also found a new way to combine imagery and location-based searches. Using location-tagged images and their descriptions, you can find out where to find where an item, say a dish or beverage of your choice, is sold and how it looks like. A simple text-based search term will now generate a map showing images of a search term and the location of where it can be found. So this is really interesting to me. And I think this is just paving the way for more object detection and AI-based algorithms being built into these place searching. So instead of searching for, Target, for example, because you need some sort of cleaning solution, you can now just search for that brand or that cleaning solution, and it would present to you all the places where you can either purchase that or where you've got these geotagged photos with that cleaning solution in it. So very interesting to see how this kind of evolves to make it easier to just search random things and then get back locations of where that thing is or places, for example. Last one here is the general availability of photorealistic 3D tiles, 2D tiles, and Street View tiles. So after announcing the preview availability of photorealistic 3D tiles through Google Maps' API, Google has now moved to photorealistic 3D tiles as well as 2D and Street View tiles into general availability. So that means that this is production-ready data that users can use using the JavaScript APIs and Street View APIs. So great new data sources to be leveraged inside of applications your organization or you may be building leveraging the Google Maps API. So some great new enhancements from Google. Next, from Geospatial World, new geospatial policy speeds up tech adoption through PPP, says India's Surveyor General. So in a collaboration, Genesis International, leading India mapping company, and Survey of India SOI, the country's national surveying and mapping authority, have joined forces to revolutionize India's map content. It says that this strategic partnership aims to create digital twins for major cities and for towns. The collaboration introduces the India Map Stack initiative, synergizing Genesis expertise with SOI's technical infrastructure, delivering previously unavailable data layers such as high-resolution 3D data, terrain models, DTMs, and surface models, DSMs, as well as ortho imagery. This comprehensive data set forms the bedrock for creating detailed and accurate urban representations. So I see this as India kind of following suit with other countries like the US around open data and making these data sets relatively easy to access and available to their citizens and for businesses alike to leverage. It says that Genesis will ensure that its digital twins faithfully mirror the dynamic urban landscape with unparalleled precision. So being able to collect this data of high accuracy and make it available, but also timely, so that as things change, the data sets are also changing. So then we have a list of highlights here. So they'll generate 3D digital twins of major Indian cities and towns. They'll also provide these core data sets to Genesis. We'll also offer administrative boundaries of major cities and towns. Again, more open data. We'll collaborate on urban 3D model. They'll acquire accurate geospatial data sets. So not only collect, but they will also acquire this data set and then ground truth it with validations. They'll also license geospatial data products to its end users as content as a service model. Joint efforts will be made to apprise the city administrators of the utility of accurate geospatial data sets through technical workshops. And this collaboration marked by an event attended by senior government officials and industry leaders. So again, just really great to see India collecting this data, managing this data, making it available, and educating folks on the availability of this 3D data. So finally, the strategic alliance between Genesis and SOI heralds a new era of geospatial excellence, providing invaluable data and applications to enhance decision-making processes across various sectors, as projections indicate significant growth in the geospatial market within the Indian urban and utility sector by 2025, underscoring substantial economic opportunities within the domain. So just like everywhere else, seeing the value of geospatial data and content and this idea of digital twins, India is getting ahead of the curve here and collecting and making this data available. Next article from Arc News, Demystifying GeoAI. So if you're not familiar with GeoAI, it fuses artificial intelligence with geospatial data, science, and technology to accelerate workflows, uncover valuable insights, and solve spatial problems. So this article does a good job of going over what GeoAI is and providing just a high-level overview of XR, or artificial intelligence, machine learning, and everything that it encompasses. So we can see in this diagram here, within artificial intelligence, you've got kind of subcategories of machine learning and deep learning. And GeoAI kind of fuses or falls in the middle of artificial intelligence and location intelligence. So AI has two main components, machine learning and deep learning. Machine learning involves training a computer to learn patterns within data and predict outcomes without receiving explicit instructions to do so. Deep learning, a subset of machine learning, employs algorithmic structures called neural networks that are inspired by the way that the human brain works to learn complex patterns within data by piecing together simpler concepts. So within the framework of GeoAI, machine learning can be used to analyze spatial data and solve spatial problems using things like classification, clustering, prediction, and forecasting techniques, while deep learning is often used with GeoAI to generate rich spatial data by automating the extraction, classification, and detection of geospatial information from imagery, videos, point clouds, and text. So you've got machine learning, where you're leveraging spatial analysis tools that help predict like classification, clustering, and different forecasting techniques. While deep learning is more of that object detection. You're training a model to look at something like imagery to say, this is what a swimming pool looks like. Go find me all the swimming pools in aerial imagery. So then this article talks about some different use cases, like performing highway maintenance. Talks a little bit about the challenge here that performing highway maintenance presents numerous challenges for transportation departments. Then it talks about potential solutions of a pre-trained GeoAI model which can automate road crack detections and enable transportation departments to further do analysis on key spots, and then they can act on that information to ensure that highways are always in good condition. So kind of crack detection within highways. Then it goes through and talks about how to use a model. Optimizing the allocation of city resources, another use case here. Because local governments rely on population data to allocate critical community services such as medical care, schools, banking, it's imperative that they collect and maintain accurate population data at local levels. So another use case is using building footprint data with a deep learning model that's fine-tuned in an area's geography to help government organizations keep more consistent population counts. So looking at change detection, where buildings are, what type of buildings, and then estimating the total population within those buildings like homes. And then final use case here is around disaster response. So after the aftermath of a hurricane, government officials and organizations need to assess the damage done to buildings that have been hit the hardest, and performing damage assessments quickly can enable faster recovery and building efforts. So these organizations can take historical data as well as new collected data, train a model, and then detect if a building has sustained any damage, which we can see in this image. Green buildings are okay. Red buildings have sustained some sort of damage. So if you're interested in any of these different workflows, there are 50 pre-trained deep learning models available on Esri's Living Atlas that can be leveraged in ArcGIS. And there are a variety of spatial analysis tools built into ArcGIS to do deep learning types of workflows. So that was a little bit on GeoAI, a few different use cases for this AI machine learning world inside of GIS. Okay, a couple more articles here for this week. This one from ArcGIS blog. An important notice, a deprecation notice. ArcGIS Collector on Windows platform is going to retire. So if you are a user of ArcGIS Collector on Windows, you need to know that there is a deprecation schedule and it is set to retire on October 1st of next year. So you do have a few more months, almost a year, but you will need to start looking at migrating from Collector to ArcGIS Field Maps, which launched in the fall of 2020 and is the next generation application for replacing Collector. So Esri does recommend that customers migrate to Field Maps either on Android, iOS, or Windows 11. So again, if you are a user of the Collector app on Windows, be sure to migrate before October of next year. Finally, from the ArcGIS blog, what's new in SiteScan for ArcGIS? First update here is the Reality Engine first release. Esri's new Reality Engine is now released as the main processing engine in SiteScan for ArcGIS. So earlier this year, Esri launched ArcGIS Reality, which is a suite of reality mapping products designed to enable reality capture workflows for sites, cities, and countries from drone, aerial, or satellite imagery. The Reality Engine had been in beta in SiteScan, but now is in full release. So this engine, which is part of ArcGIS Reality, has now been baked directly into SiteScan. Helps with processing drone imagery, which is part of SiteScan's foundation, and is crucial to the processing of accurate, efficient, and generates high-quality results. So by incorporating the new Esri-built Reality Engine, they are striving to deliver the best processing engine on the market and share it across all ArcGIS Reality products. So if you have drone collected imagery, if you have aerial plane collected imagery, or satellite collected imagery, and you're looking to create these imagery products, these 3D products, ArcGIS Reality and the engine is now being used to support all these different use cases and data processing needs. Next update, enhanced publishing capabilities to online and enterprise. So with the option to publish a tiled imagery format directly into ArcGIS Online, you can now conduct a fully cloud-based workflow from image capture to advanced image analysis and change detection using Esri's deep learning technology. So SiteScan was an acquisition from a third-party company and was a bit of a standalone application at first, but now being baked into online and enterprise, you can easily push out your data products as a service into online or enterprise. Also says here that you can now publish oriented imagery catalogs and create an oriented imagery web application in ArcGIS Online using Experience Builder to perform detailed site inspections. Oriented imagery allows you to navigate through your site in an immersive 3D environment. You can learn more about this capability from this blog here. So if you are collecting imagery to be used in oriented imagery catalogs, there are some great new updates within the web map viewer as well as Experience Builder to bring those oriented imagery catalogs directly in. And finally, some automation for keeping your web maps up to date. SiteScan for ArcGIS on a custom subscription can now create web services for your SiteScan projects and bring them into GIS applications like Pro and Online. So automatically being able to update these different services, again, just tighter integration with ArcGIS. If you've not seen this article, when we post it, there are some use cases in here and some case studies as well for using SiteScan. So if you are collecting imagery from drones, from aerial planes, ArcGIS Reality and SiteScan for ArcGIS are some great solutions to help process that data. Okay, so these have been our articles for this week in MetaMapping. Let's jump into our MappyMeme of the week. This MappyMeme comes from Small Town Mapper, Charles Robbins, our MappyMeme here. Right before we're supposed to get off early, what the you want more yellow. So this MappyMeme, I'm sure we've all lived through this. We're trying to take off either for the weekend, for a long holiday weekend like we just had, and you get another request to have a map change. So we'll like and repost our MappyMeme here. So this has been our episode for this week. I know that I've been behind on the 30-day map challenge, but there's lots of great maps being produced. Be sure to follow that hashtag on X. We're also liking and resharing a lot of those maps. Hopefully this week, get around to producing some more maps for the 30-day map challenge, and on this week in MetaMapping, I'll be sure to show some of those off. But this has been This Week in MetaMapping. If you haven't followed us on all of our socials, be sure to do that. Please like, subscribe. Again, follow our X account, follow Spatial Ninja, follow Meta World Maps on X. We'll be announcing a giveaway here for hitting our 50 subscriber mark. And please keep subscribing to our YouTube channel if you haven't. And as always, stay mappy, my friends.